So I worked with a great lady last night and also a guy last Thursday. And both of them had a massive fear of confrontation. And then I had a moment on Friday where before I would have shrunk away from confrontation. And confrontation is one of the biggest things that I help people with in inner boy and also inner child work. And what I said to this lady last night was, I bet you rehearse it over and over. I bet you work out your speech, you work out what you're going to say, you write your letter, you're ready to go, but you can't send it and you can't say what you want. And she went 100%. And then this guy said to me 1,000,000% on Thursday. And I was like, I've hit the nail on the head. So why is that happening? Why do you have that massive fear of confrontation? Because that's why you've clicked on this video. And I want you to know that it is because your inner child or your inner boy is the version of you that is in control at that moment. Your inner boy wants to be Mr. Nice Guy. He wants everyone to like him and he really cares about what people think. And he doesn't want to upset the apple cart. He doesn't want to upset people. Because there will be a memory in time that your inner boy has of where he did speak up, he did say something wrong, and he would have got a rollicking for it, or something would have happened, and your inner boy doesn't ever want to feel that level of shame or humiliation again. So what happens for you as a man is you will go all the ways you can to avoid having confrontation. If you are a woman watching this, what will happen when it comes to confrontation is you will people please. You will go over the top and you will try and give everybody what they need. You will also abandon yourself to the highest degree. So when it comes to confrontation, quite often for the feminine or the female, she will trigger the abandonment wound by speaking up. And for the masculine, what happens is when we talk about, confrontation and speaking up, that is the humiliation and the shame. So very similar traits, but they behave differently in the masculine to what they do in the feminine. So like I say, what is happening is there is an energetic distortion in your field somewhere. There is something in your memory that is causing you to act and behave that way. And this is why I say the key thing when it comes to wanting to deal with confrontation, we have to think about the key trigger there being safety. Okay, and that's why you guys see my videos, because I am all about, before you reparent the inner boy or you reparent the inner child, you make that version of you feel safe. How do we do that? So when it comes to making your inner boy or your inner child feel safe, we always start with your name and your age. I want you to know this, okay? Your inner boy or your inner child has no idea who you are until you tell them who you are. Your inner child or your inner boy sits there and goes, I'm not going to listen to you. How many of you feel that way when it comes to confrontation? How many of you put your hands over your shoulders and you're like, nope, or you do this? And when we do this, I want you to think about that is a protective part of you that is stepping up, okay? So when it comes to wanting to heal and make your inner child or your inner boy feel safe, that is consistency. Consistency creates safety for the inner boy or the inner child. And when you show up regularly, you are helping with the abandonment wound if you are feminine and also masculine, and you're helping with the humiliation and the shame wound that the inner boy would have felt inside of you if you are a masculine. So by you showing up consistently and making them feel safe with activities, things that you do, daily check-in, nighttime check-in, weekly check-ins, what's going to happen is when it comes to confrontation, I want you to know that you're going to feel safer inside yourself. And if the inner boy or the inner child is the version of you that is all about safety, does it not make sense that is a really great place to start? So like I say, before we go and, deal with confrontation, let's get ourselves feeling nice and safe inside. Because when it comes to confrontation, what will happen is you will feel the trauma in your body wants to rise. And trauma in your body is as a result of what is happening in your nervous system. And again, this is why I say when you've got something in your past, you've got a memory, there's something there, it's called trauma in your body. Trauma is defined as a moment when something was too much or it was not enough. And your body is full of trauma. So when it comes to wanting to deal with confrontation, what is happening is your body is fizzing up. That is causing your nervous system to activate. That is probably putting you into fight, flight, or freeze. I wouldn't have thought fawn, to be fair, okay? But normally that's why you'll want to run away. You want to do the flight emotion, because when it comes to confrontation, you've got trauma in your body because your inner boy or your inner child is holding on to that time. But what I want you to know is, once you have worked through that memory, and I made a very previous video about how to do that, and I'll link it just at the top here for you. When you've worked through how to reframe that memory and how to release the energy somatically within the body, you'll find it becomes a lot easier to do confrontation. I had a moment that happened to me on Friday with the trademark company, and I had this woman chasing me for my payment. And I'd already set a reminder in my calendar to pay her on Friday, because I don't work Fridays and Saturdays. But she sent me 2 emails and 1 WhatsApp all before 12:30. And me of old, and probably you, would have just gone and paid that link. I didn't. I literally replied to the email and I said, please don't harass me, please don't chase me. I feel like this is a trauma response, so to speak. I do use inner child language when I speak to clients, I speak to other people, and I asked for my case to be deferred to someone else, and that's now gone to another manager in another department to go and get sorted. But I've shared that because I want you to know, me of old would have gone, oh, whatever, I'll just pay the money, I'll pay the 500 quid, it doesn't really matter. Kel today, the healed version, goes, no, that's not okay for you to do that. It's not okay. And I know that that is a trauma response that you're doing when you're chasing me, and then you're telling me the only solution you can provide is the service that you want to offer me for that amount of money. So just know it is possible to heal the confrontation. But like I say, truly that comes down to making yourself feel safe inside of yourself. Because so many people, and I'll make a separate video on this, also struggle with speaking up. And that can affect your views on social media. That can affect how you are in business. That can affect how you show it with your friends, your family, etc. Anyway, for me, confrontation, when I say to people, I bet you can't confront anybody, I usually get 100%, 1,000,000%, 1,000%, or I go, oh my God. And this guy on Thursday said to me, it's like you're in my head speaking word for word my language. And that's why you guys see me, because I genuinely understand it, because I've had every single core wound possible when it comes to inner child work. I've had to work through so many things myself. And that's what makes me a great practitioner, because when you sit in front of me, I've been there. I know what it's like to not be that person that's just like, oh, just pay and be the nice guy and the one that everyone likes and wear the mask. I got it all. I got it all down pat, let me tell you. Okay. Anyway, I've got some wicked tools in the description here on YouTube. I've got my inner boy reset, my inner child reset. Come and do a session with me. Genuinely, truly, 100%. I really get it. Anyway, I hope this helps you around confrontation. And remember, the number one key thing that your inner boy or your inner child, if you are a woman, needs is to feel safe. Once you feel safe, you will be okay with confrontation. And I hope this helps. Take care. Cheers to that. Bye bye.